The existing buildings have a very dramatic setting with a very dramatic piece of landscape in front of them. And as soon as we came to visit the dockyard, our first response was to propose a building that was dramatic within that context too. So it's a black building in amongst a collection of white buildings. It needs to be seen from a long way away. It needs to signal the entrance. It needs to have clarity. And so it was a very simple idea to fill the gap between two existing buildings with a building which is different in colour and material, but similar in form. The way ships are constructed very much influenced the way we approach the design of the building. The use of the timber materials, the kit of parts that we use to assemble things like the roof, we're very much thinking of shipbuilding technology and engineering that's present on the dockyard. And also the way timber influences everything on the design, from the texture of the concrete to the materials we use. We're trying to reflect the history of the dockyard as a massive machine for processing timber. The dockyard came along with a brief that had a number of specific challenges, really. One was how we were going to exhibit the ship's timbers, which were an archaeological find. The other thing was how we resolved their public entrance. What's very important about the architecture of the project is finding a response to the very robust industrial engineering architecture of the existing context, finding a way to intervene in that both respects that, but also is able to compete with it without fading into the background. We worked very early on in the project with the exhibition and interpretive designer. It's very important to establish a single approach to the design of the exhibition within the building. The building, to some extent, is the key part of the exhibition in the first place. So these two things needed to be an integrated story. The most instinctive feedback is watching people in the building. So we have visitors who regularly walk around the building stroking the concrete, for instance, because they can't believe it's concrete. It just looks like timber, and so they get very engaged with the textural design of the building. We're very keen that people understand that architecture can be both respectful and strong at the same time. So respectful of the historic environment around it, but strong enough to respond to that in a modern, contemporary way. It's not self-effacing, but neither is it disrespectful or too proud to take its place in a historic setting.